يبحث سكان المدن الكبرى بين الفينة والأخرى عن فسحة للتأمل في مكان يأخذهم بعيدا عن الضجيج والازدحام. لكن الرحلة قد تكون طويلة وبعيدة، فماذا لو كان المكان قريبا ويأخذك بعيدا عن أنانية وقساوة المدن؟
It's lovely that you can get into London quickly and easily, and you can escape from the busyness of life if you want. And if you walk down to the end of our road, you come to the River Pang.
قرية الأحجار الكريمة المخفية في ضواحي العاصمة البريطانية لندن تجاور مدينة الضباب المزدحمة، وتستغرق الرحلة إليها 40 دقيقة فقط بالقطار، بحيث يمكن قضاء عطلة نهاية الأسبوع فيها. القرية الهادئة والعريقة تستقر كجوهرة على ضفاف نهر التايمز، والحياة هنا بسيطة، والطبيعة على سجيتها، حيث الغابات والسهول الشاسعة تشكل لوحة ساحرة تمنح الطمأنينة للروح.
Look behind me at the beautiful, picturesque, panoramic view. You have a church, beautiful old buildings, you have the river. If you so wish, there's plenty of restaurants, there's plenty of public houses. It's just so beautiful. If you look over there.
وما يزيد الطمأنينة المنازل والفنادق بطرازها القديم ودفئها وعراقتها، حيث حافظت على هويتها ونظام حياتها الأصيل، والذي ما زال صديقا وفيا للطبيعة، بل جزءا منها، ضمن مشهد البطل فيه الجمال الحقيقي والدفين لقرية باتت بمثابة حجر كريم ونادر في زمن السرعة وسيطرة المادة.
Welcome to Basildon Park. It's very nice to have visitors. Do come in and have a look round.
كل ذلك حول القرية إلى استراحة محارب لجيرانها أهل المدن، حتى أنها باتت ملهمة للكتاب والأدباء الذين يقصدونها بحثا عن أفكار وكلمات لا تمنحها المدينة بكل مغرياتها.
It has inspired people in the past. Kenneth Grahame lived here and he was the writer of Wind in the Willows. There are other writers who've lived in the area. There's a lady called May Wedderburn Cannon who wrote poetry. She didn't live in Pangbourne, but she lived in Whitchurch just across the river.
هي جار قريب وغريب ينقلك إلى صورة مختلفة تنعش الروح عبر مسافة قصيرة من المدينة.
Is it real? Not the gem. Well, it's a sense of being like a gem, like a diamond in the country.
Friendly place, come and visit, and you'll find the gem in your heart.
My absolute favourite thing in Pangbourne and a true gem is the River Thames, just to have that water so close by.
My name is Jim Tubbs-Galley. I work as a local hypnoanalyst for people who suffer from anxieties, fears, depression. A hidden gem village is a village where people don't necessarily stop there unless they're actually visiting. So the hidden gem of many places you've got to go and visit, and probably the best way to do this is to walk. So you have to find parking, but a hidden gem is where locals know that it's so beautiful, but other people come and visit it and they're actually blown away by the spectacular views. So if you want a hidden gem, Whitchurch and Pangbourne are hidden gems of rural England, Oxfordshire and West Berkshire.
Well, I'm Stella Dunn. This is my husband, Michael Dunn. I've actually lived in this area since about 1985, not always in Pangbourne. But I married my husband in 2010 and persuaded him to move from Swindon to here. Michael originally comes from Liverpool and knew the Beatles.
Nearly.
Nearly knew the Beatles, yeah. Swindon is good, yeah, Swindon is good, but we wanted a place where there was a community, where you could walk, down to the river and walk to the doctors, walk to the dentist, and everything was here. And there's a community here, isn't there?
Yes.
It's a bit like that programme Cheers, they say, and everyone knows your name. Well, in Pangbourne, everyone does know you. Getting to the shops is quite difficult. It takes forever because you'd always meet someone.
So I come from Wolverhampton originally, so pretty much anywhere's nice, but Pangbourne, I think the reason it's lovely is it's on the River Thames, but you've also got the canal, and then you've also got the Ridgeway, and you've got the Thames paths. So it's got long distance paths, it's got water, and it's also got a train line and some great restaurants. So yeah, path from its origin in London all the way up to Lechlade where it fades out. So they've put new steps in, which is great because I've never gone down it on a bicycle. I always get off and walk, and I run as well, and coming back up it's quite a challenge, but it's nice, and it goes down into that little valley and then it goes straight up the other side, so it's good.
So when you read about hidden gems in all of these, on the online they say hidden gem here, hidden 40 minutes away from London, 35 minutes. It just means somewhere where it's easy to get to very quickly, and you can leave London behind. All the crazy noises of London go away. Then you are here, and it's just, you just breathe. It's nice. Maybe you have a nice small little village, somewhere to stay, and you can just, that's what they mean by a hidden gem. So the hidden gem villages are all around outside of London. The people from London like them basically because in London you have all the towers, everything, and you want to get out in the countryside. So Pangbourne is a nice village because from London you can get here within 35 minutes. You can just take the train straight from London, 28 minutes to Reading, another 5 minutes into Pangbourne, and then here you are in this beautiful, fresh, green countryside.
When people come here, the hidden gems of Pangbourne and Whitchurch are many, but it's usually that they come across it by the river, and they love the river. The river is spectacular. And once they come here, the gems is a feeling of a bit of tranquility. You're out of the hustle and bustle of, let's say, Reading or London, certainly. So you get a sense of peace, where time stands still, where you can just relax. and take your time. So if you're looking for a nice day out, good restaurants, beautiful people, friendly place, come and visit, and you'll find the gem in your heart.
Hello, I'm David Tudor Glover. I live in this village. I've lived here, oh crikey, since 1976, what's that, 24, 40, 46 years I've lived here. I was actually born in London, in Hackney, and then went to live in Brighton, and then came to Reading University, and then I found this village and my wife. I wanted to go back to Brighton, but she said, it's Brighton or me, so I chose her, which was a good choice. It's very small. I don't know exactly where the term villa comes from, but it sounds like a villa is a house, so villa is a village. It's a small house, I guess. I don't know whether that's French or Latin or, but it's got lovely shops. Lovely restaurants here.
People come here for a variety of reasons. They may have heard about the lovely restaurants around here. I know there's a restaurant, and there's Lardy, there's Nino's, very good food. And also, down in Purley, which is only 2-3 miles away, there's a place called the Mad Duck, where you'll get a very good welcome from Mandy and Donna and all the staff. So if you're looking for somewhere to go, something to eat, there's something for everyone in Pangbourne.
The nearness of being able to get out and walk to lovely places
Countryside in 1 minute.
without having to get in a car. Everywhere and anywhere around here, within a minute or 2 minutes, you can be down by the countryside or in a field with trees and grass, and by the river, which is important. I think that's the secret.
Come on, we'll go to the river. Let's go up to the river. And there's a railway bridge up there. But a beautiful day to do some filming in beautiful Pangbourne. Come on, Yusuf, let's go.
I'm Martin. I live here. So I live here next to the river. Okay. It's a beautiful place to live. So we come down here and go swimming in the summertime. It's not very frequent. It's this warm. It's beautiful. We think we've got the best house in the village. It's a bit exaggeration there, but it's just the overall. It's the fact it's so close to London with the train station, and it's such a beautiful, wild environment. Yeah, and beautiful village.
For me, I love water, so my favourite spot to walk down is down to the river. And sometimes in the evenings in the summer, my husband and I will take our gin and tonics and sit and just watch the river. People are kayaking, boats are passing, and it's almost like you've been to the beach for the day. It's so relaxing to see it. So yes, I really, really enjoyed it. My absolute favourite thing in Pangbourne, and a true gem, is the River Thames. Just to have that water so close by. I've been living next to water for many years, so to have that continuous is wonderful. Again, you'll see kayaking and paddle boarding and boats, and it's so relaxing, and you feel like you've been to the beach for the day.
Oh, well, the landscape here, I think if you're close to water, that's important as a source of energy and life to all of us, but it's very relaxing. And to be able to be close to the river, close to the countryside, to get away from people if you really, really want to. And there's nothing better, as Ratty said in Wind in the Willows, than messing about on the river, or by the river, or in the river. It doesn't matter. And I think that's the secret. I think that's why Pangbourne is a gem, that it has the Thames running through it, it has the River Pang joining it and Sullen Brook. I think that's why. That's its energy source.
The nearness of walks.
And the nearness of walks, yes. Yeah.
We're now approaching the gem, Whitchurch on Thames, which is just past Pangbourne, and the beautiful River Thames. Spectacular views. And we're just going to go up there to Whitchurch. We're now in the middle of Whitchurch Bridge, just between Pangbourne and Whitchurch. There's a lock over there, Maple Durham Lock. Down there is to Reading, and up here is Whitchurch. So let's go and have a look at the toll. There's only 2 left in the whole of Britain. Why do people come here? Need I say more? Look behind me at the beautiful, picturesque, panoramic view. You have a church, beautiful old buildings, you have the river. What more could you want? There's beautiful countryside all around. If you so wish, there's plenty of restaurants, there's plenty of public houses. It's just so beautiful. If you look over there, it's a gem. We're now walking to the local church. We're going to take a secret passageway up to the graveyard, which has been there for centuries. Local dignitaries have been buried there. The church itself still has a thriving community, and it's well looked after. They look after the gardens, and look, as we come out into the sunshine, we can see the beautiful church, which has stood there for centuries.
Kenneth Graham, he lived in a house next to the church, which is still there, which you can still see. And he wrote the stories for his son. He wrote them in letters to his son that I think was called Mouse. And he got a writer called E. Shepherd, I think was not the writer, the illustrator. And he came down and he visited and spoke to Kenneth Graham. And so he got his ideas for the illustrations for Wind in the Willows from all around here, from the river, from the hills and the dark woods. So that was the inspiration.
He has inspired people in the past. Kenneth Graham lived here and he was the writer of Wind in the Willows. There are other writers who've lived in the area. There's a lady called May Wedderburn Cannon who wrote poetry. She didn't live in Pangbourne, but she lived in Whitchurch, just across the river. And actually I have an idea that either she or one of her relations did live in the moors. So yes, there are connections with literature. And also Agatha Christie lived not that far away in Wallingford and is buried in the churchyard at Cholsey. So another famous writer who lived nearby.
Of course, many people visit Pangbourne because they've heard of that famous book by that famous writer, Kenneth Graham. He wrote Wind in the Willows, where a lot of childhood memories are made by reading that book about Ratty, Mole, Toad, or Badger, and all the other characters that appear in Wind in the Willows.
Basildon Park is a Georgian house in the neoclassical style, hence the later part of the 18th century, and it took from 1776 till 1783 to be built. And beautiful golden honeycombed Bath stone, which would have to come all the way from Bath here to near Reading, a long way before the canals were built, so by road. It was owned by Sir John Sykes, and he was a nabob. A nabob because he was part of the East Indian Company, and he became a very wealthy man, hence he built a lovely house. Then he was here for some time. His elder son unfortunately died, and it was a very young Sir Francis, Francis Sykes, who took over, who was only 5 years old when he became the 3rd baronet. Later on, it wasn't lived in at all from 1910 to 1952, hence it became very derelict.
It was built between 1776 and 1782 for Sir Francis Sykes by the fashionable architect of the day, whose name was John Carr. The history of Basildon and Basildon Park is very complex. I think of it as W-shaped. It went down after Francis Sykes had built it. It was at a low point in 1838 when Morrison bought it, and it was at another low point in 1952. When she bought it in 1952, all the windows were broken, only 6 doors were on their hinges, 17 of the doors in the house here were found in the boiler room, and over 25 years, Lord and Lady Iliff, but especially Lady Iliff, restored the house and created what we see here today. So as you go round, within the date bracket 1650 to 1850, everything is genuine, and that's the furniture, furnishings, paintings, all within that date bracket. But nothing is authentic because everything has been either bought in or brought in.
I love this, the village people. I suppose this is true of quite a lot of villages, but it's very true here. The people are all friendly. In fact, having lived here this long, I think I probably know everybody in the village and everybody knows me, which is lovely.
So beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? So Pangbourne is a little gem, but because it offers so many things to so many people. You know, if you're older and you want to be able to walk to the doctors, the bus, the train, you've got it. There's so much around and you can just pick what you want, whatever means the most to you. And we live in a particularly nice little road where we know everyone and there's a community, and that's important, and you don't get that in large estates.
Ah, the gems. You can look for gems everywhere. It could be in buildings, it could be in nature, it could be the people you meet. There are so many hidden gems around Pangbourne and Whitchurch. Not only the scenery, because what is scenery without people? You need people, and people are very nice usually. So visit Pangbourne and Whitchurch and find those hidden gems. It could be people, places or things.